Oh my goodness. Welcome, everybody. Oh gosh. Give me a second here. I hope I found some really amazing music to use today. You guys can't really see me, so hold on. Let me see if I can fix this. Oh dear. Can you see me now? No. Oh, there we go. Me oh my friends. Welcome and hello. I hope you liked our opening dance with my beautiful multi-rainbowed machete. And we're still going to dance today on our Freak Speak Friday. So for anyone who is new and joining us, my name is Arielle. I show up in my unique frequency and I speak unfiltered, unedited, unplanned, unscripted from my frequency. I'm going to pull up the chat here. Hey Liz, I see you're here, girl. Yay, I'm glad you like the music. Happy Friday, Liz, too, and Melissa. And I know Justin was here. Ooh, get that mosquito. But Justin was here earlier when I was doing some testing. So much love. I have some fun music to try today for our dance party. On Fridays, when I show up to speak in my frequency, I also have a live dance party where we celebrate the fact that we're alive, we are thriving, and if you don't feel like you have anything to celebrate, that is all the more reason to dance, to remind yourself that you always have something to celebrate. So, Melissa said, sounded more Irish than Scottish, but very stringy. Oh gosh, that's awesome. Yeah, I chose something from the Highlands. I chose Highland. It said Scottish, but I also think it was an AI mix, but it felt powerful to go with my machete. But I also have some other fun music that I want to try today. So we're going to actually dance. I'm not going to play my original song, but I have another fun dance song that I wanted to try just to give us something different. Let me check. So today I am on Facebook Live. So hello, Facebook people. Hope you're doing well. Oh gosh, hold on. I pulled it up, but now I don't know how to mute it. Give me a second. I want to be able to see without. Come on. Oh dear. Okay, here we go. All right, there we go. All right. So anybody on Facebook, hope you are doing well today. And all right, so we've got 1 minute until our dance party starts. Shout out to Stacy. Stacy, if you're watching, I love you, girl. I'm so sorry about your leg, your ankle. I know you can't dance with us this week, but we are praying for you. We're cheering you on. We're sending you so much love, so much healing vibes. I know that you are supposed to have surgery today, so I'm hoping that goes well. Praying that the doctors are just well equipped and all of the good things to pray over your surgery today. we're hoping you get well soon. So we're going to dance for you. We're going to dance to celebrate, and I'm going to share my screen. It is now 11:11. I wish there was a way to, oh, anyway, can I make this, hold on guys, I know it's 11:11, I just want to change this around if I can. You know, I feel like they changed something, so anyway, we're just gonna go ahead and play it. Happy 11/11, everybody. Oh gosh, wasn't that fun?
I hope you enjoyed watching. Please give a like to this video.
Hold on, you gotta stop sharing.
Also,
Whoa, man. Okay, guys, wasn't that cool? A mix between Scottish and Indian. When I found her, I was like, I know this isn't copyright free, but I have to play this. Stacy was here. Yay. That is awesome. Okay, Stacy, I hope you're doing well. I'm going back in the chat now. Whew. Oh my gosh, Liz is a great grandma. Welcome to this. Welcome to the Styles. Welcome to Earth Baby Styles. Cammie's here. Much love, Cammie. And Justin made it. Okay. I love this song. That's awesome. Never heard a bagpipe quite like that. I know, right? It definitely sounds Bollywood. Yes, exactly. Okay, so yes, Stacy, I gave you a shout out earlier. You said that your surgery is at 1:30 Mountain Time. We're going to be sending you so much love. For those of you who missed the beginning, I opened with a dance with my beautiful multicolored machete. So you guys can go see that. Some of my ladies already know that I have become obsessed with sword yoga, sword dancing. I'm not going to buy my own sword when I have a machete. And so, even though I've never taken an official class or anything, I literally had to just start doing anything from my own intuition with this. This makes me feel so powerful. This makes me feel like such a badass. I'm like a cross between a ninja warrior and I don't know, Xena the Warrior Princess. For those of you who know, you know, man, that was my childhood growing up. Xena the Warrior Princess. Oh my gosh. So today, we've got, some things to talk about. I wanted to talk about time today, and I wanted to just chat like we always normally do. I've got my vanilla lotion on this time, Cami. I put some other essential oils on as well, so hopefully that will deter the mosquitoes. I do have things to do today. I've got to pack. I'm going to be gone for like a month. I'm sitting under this palm tree and it's like right in my way. But I want to be in the sun and the shade so you guys can see me. So I just have to deal with it. Yes, so I'm going to be traveling to Charleston tomorrow for my sister's baby shower. My mom is going to be a grandma for the first time. So it's it's her first grandbaby, our first grandbaby. Listen to me. And then I'm going to be going up to Greenville for a couple of weeks. And then I'll be coming back down. And then eventually I'll come back up to the Greenville area when my sister, finally gives birth. So I'm going to be traveling around for a while. So I can't take too much time today, but I definitely wanted to talk about time. Let me see here. Yes. Don't lop off a leg with that thing. Thanks, Justin. I have a machete for the garden and it's nowhere near as shiny or sharp as yours. Mine is only sharp because I've never used it. Okay, yeah, so geranium oil is what I put on my is my base. So I've got the vanilla lotion and then I put some geranium underneath. Yes, that's awesome. And lemongrass. I've also heard cedarwood and clove and cinnamon and of course citronella. So I've got all those. I've got all of those as much as possible. So hopefully the geranium really works. That's what I was thinking would be the best, but I mixed it with some other stuff just to be on the safe side. So I've got my feet on the ground. I hope you guys are staying grounded as well. But let's jump right into it. This is some interesting times we live in, is it not? Is it not? I mean, I don't even keep up with the news, but I feel like every time I hear something, there is just another crisis, going on. I hear that the Hunta virus or whatever is now no longer a thing anymore. They tried, but nobody fell for it. So that is, encouraging. It is very encouraging. But that doesn't mean that they're going to stop throwing things at us. And, whoever they are, it's their job to, you know, make life easier for themselves, not for the regular people. And, when we talk about time, I always, come back to the thought that now is the only thing that exists. The only time that actually exists is now. Time is not linear. Time is spiral. Time is kind of like that movie Everywhere. Oh shoot! What? How? Everything, everywhere, all at once, or everywhere, everything, all at once, something like that. That was a really actually great movie. Um, but it just, it showed the fact that now everything is happening now. The past, the future, everything is happening at one time, which is kind of trippy when you think about it. And it can be freeing if you allow it to be. Um, I make spray of cedar oil and vodka. Repels ticks. Oh, that's awesome, Cami. Justin says now they're on to the screw worm being found in Texas cattle. I'm done with it. Yeah, Stacy, people are finally seeing through the bullshit for sure. Oh, that's awesome, Jonna. I hope Jonna stops by today. She is a wealth of knowledge. They're going after raw milk in Idaho again. It's not been legal for too long here. Oh my gosh. I'm not surprised. I'm really not surprised. That better not be a bug in my tea. Oh my goodness. Get that out of my tea. Okay. I mean, they nothing is sacred. They're not going to not go after anything, right? They go after everything, everyone, all at once, just like time. My mom sends me stuff about Trump, all the time. She never liked him to begin with. I don't think she voted for anyone, but she, hated Trump. And, it's just like, oh, see, I told you so. When it's like, I didn't vote. And, they were just two bad choices. Like there are only ever two bad choices. And, you know, they were going to be able to push their agenda through either one of them. It was just going to be packaged differently. But it's like, Trump is stopping this and stopping this and stopping this and putting these people in office and these people in office. And, I'm just like, I'm kind of numb to it at this point. I really don't pay attention at all. But I know that it's good to keep your head out of the sand, right? You need to be aware of what's going on. At the same time, I feel like you can create your own reality, and it really, if you're not paying attention to it, if your focus isn't on it, then it doesn't affect you for real. Liz says John is busy. Gotcha. Stacy's putting a different spin on things. What if bugs biting you are actually because they are medicinal for something you need? If your terrain is great, the bugs don't bite. Just like they don't eat healthy plants. I would love to think that is that is it. Because I really can't see mosquitoes or bugs being, good for us at all. Like, if there's anyone out there who thinks that mosquitoes are good, like, they might be a psychopath. I've got like several bites on my fingers because somehow they get into the house and they be buzzing around at night, and my mom and I wake up with new bites, and it's so annoying. Earlier this week, one was like buzzing around my head, and I couldn't sleep because it was buzzing so much, and I was just like done with the freaking mosquitoes. But I would love to find out, or to just believe that somehow mosquito bites or bug bites in general were good for me. Yeah, like that would be a nice reality. Justin says that fear is the real virus. That is so right. Um, and Liz agrees, it's all they need to make people comply. I completely agree as well. Um, Fear is, the lowest emotion, but it is one of the hardest ones to break out of, especially when you've been conditioned into it for so long. Um, and we have been conditioned for generations. Like when you talk about generational curses, or like breaking curses, breaking conditioning, it's not just one. Yes, I believe that one generation can break a curse, but you have to know that you are breaking generations worth of conditioning, generations worth of curses. Like it's not just your mom or your grandma. Like it goes back so far. And that conditioning is in your DNA, you know. Just like some insects, that are actually just alive to breed. They literally don't have mouths to feed themselves or anything. They're born pregnant, and they lay their eggs and they die. Like, and they have generations worth of babies in them. It's like the mom has a baby, but the baby already has babies in it. Like, and it just goes on and on and on. DNA carries everything from the past, and you have to be aware that you're not just breaking your own conditioning, you're breaking, the conditioning that has been passed down from your great grandmother, your great grandmother. Um, and I don't think it's a one and done. I think you have to consciously do it, um, and like really believe that you did it, because it's just like forgiveness. You can't just forgive someone one time. Like every time it comes back up into your brain, you have to forgive them and forgive yourself again. Stacy says all politics should have a warning for entertainment purposes only. That's exactly right. Eric's in the house. Much love, Eric. I see you, bro. Melissa, I say God, nature doesn't make mistakes. Mosquitoes have a purpose. I know. I just don't know what their purpose are, girl. And they annoy the fuck out of me. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know what the purpose is. I mean, I think they're probably just around to feed someone. Like maybe mom and I need to get a gecko, or a lizard, or something that has a long tongue that can just stay out of its cage, and all it does is roam the house for mosquitoes. Cami says, I think more that they are trying to take you down when you are weak. Talking about mosquitoes, that's funny. Stacy says, we do need to know we are. Do we need to know we are, or do we just break them and move along, changing the past as we go? And then she says, DNA is fake, so there's something else. The trigger is a teacher. Chickens eat them. Chickens, okay, but I can't put chickens in my house. I mean, that's definitely one animal my mom would not want in her house is chickens. She'd probably be allergic to the feathers. But that's good to know. That's good to know that one of the things that would eat them are chickens. DNA is fake. I have heard that too. Or I have heard something along those lines. I don't really know where I stand on that, but I think that it's still like your question, you said, do we need to know that we are, or do we just break them and move along, changing the past as we go? Yeah, I think you have to be aware. Like you have to be aware on some level that you're breaking something in order to break it. Like to consciously break it. Sure. I mean, anything is possible, right? Like, it is definitely plausible that someone doesn't even know what they're doing and they're just living life and breaking generational curses. I'm not knocking it. But I definitely think that with, like, attention is power. And when you do something with intention, like, that is one of the most powerful things, like, than doing something unconsciously. Um, like, it's almost like ignorance is bliss. And if you don't know what you're doing, then it doesn't really have that much of effect, if that makes sense. Frogs and lizards. I could get a pet iguana. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I could get a pet iguana. I might have to look into that. Complete, just like atoms, nukes, and viruses. Yeah, I hear you, Stacy. Liz says a big store in UK is banning brown eggs because it's better for the climate. What are you talking about? What are they even talking about? I'm so done. Don't it's the war on nature. It's the war on creation. Like, they literally can't have us, connecting with creation. They can't have us connecting with nature, because then we would realize our full potential. We would realize our full sovereignty, our full divinity. Like, it would literally kick them out of power. I saw that Walmart is not just having facial recognition anymore. That they switched to, digital price tags. And the digital price tags, change based on, how many people are in the store, yada, yada. Well, there is a patent that Walmart has released, I guess, where they are not just doing facial recognition, they are doing emotional recognition, meaning that when they scan your face, the AI will be able to tell you, to say if you're happy, if you're angry, if you're bored, if you're fearful, how you feel. Because it's not just enough to know who's in the store and what they're buying. They need to know their emotional state when they're buying. And there is a patent for that. I'm not making this up. I mean, the fact that we live in a world where, we are the commodity. Our attention is the commodity, and they're trying to hack us. They have figured out how to hack us multiple times. Just like 6G isn't about your phone, it's about you. It's about hacking into your electrical system. Hey, Shelly's in the house. It's hot outside. Planting watermelons. That's awesome. I can't wait to taste some of your watermelons, Shelly. Oh my gosh, Liz, it is wacky. Never mind about private jets and those freaking data centers. I get all colors of eggs except white for my girls. My girls lay green, blue, brown. Leave your phone at home, or it also affects the prices. Right? Yeah, and I don't even shop at Walmart, but like, the fact that you have to leave your phone, like, I wonder if you could just leave it in the car, right? Or would you have to leave it all the way at home? Could you just turn it off? Because sometimes turning off your phone doesn't help. Just putting it in airplane mode doesn't change anything either. Absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, they are trying to do everything in their power to line their pockets. And I heard a interesting, I haven't finished it, an interesting podcast. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and play it. I'm gonna play a little bit of this. Give me a second, guys. This is a fascinating podcast that I had started. I'll just play, the beginning of it. I won't go into every detail. Let me see here. It's in my history somewhere. Yeah, here it is. Well, is it this one? No, it's not this one. Hold on. Almost there. Oh, wait, that might have been it. Because I had two different ones from the same guy. I want to make sure I had the right one. Okay, let me see. Okay, yes, this is it. So y'all ready for this? This is super interesting, and I will drop the link here in a second. I'm going to mute myself so y'all can hear too.
I think there's a small group of power structures that sit above countries that are running the show. There's no political solution in the West. There's no democracy, it's all a lie. The government is a distraction. The left versus the right is a complete distraction. You need a theatrical moment to define the end of empire and the transition to the New World Order. So there is a way of breaking the system if we wanted, but they don't want you to know that.
What's the way? You have a very atypical way of viewing the power structures that actually make the world go round. And so I actually want to start there. Is it fair to say that there is a small group of people that sit above countries that are actually running the show?
I think there's a small group of power structures that sit above countries that are running the show.
What is a power structure?
I like to call them complexes. I think the world really understood the military-industrial complex as a group of companies and countries that have corporate interests that profit from war and that sell weapons. And so whether that be America, UK, France, Germany, Israel, that had a group of companies from Lockheed Martin, General Dynamic, Raytheon, Boeing, BAE Systems. It is a group of companies that have a well-oiled machine that requires a continual source of revenue that is derived from more profitable is war and less profitable is defense contracts. And their revenue has to continue. And structurally, they have fiduciary duties to shareholders and they have to report quarterly earnings. And you can see in those quarterly earnings where most of their revenue comes from. And it gives you clues as to where the next war zone will be. And so I use just reading those balance sheets and where the contracts are to determine where the next war zones will be because they prepare. And so you can see narrative ratchets up in politics, but before that, contracts and revenue move. And so the military industrial complex is an important part of it. But there is a greater power than the military industrial complex. And that is the financial industrial complex. And so the financial industrial complex does not have ultimate power to one institution or one organization. Just like the military industrial complex, it is a group of companies that perform very specific functions. And through controlling the creation of fiat currencies and the movement of capital globally, they're able to influence and subordinate countries in order to get access to capital. And there's all sorts of different layers within there. The final layer is the reason that I put finance above military is because all of those military companies are public companies. And so they need access to capital. They can either get it from the government through tax, through bonds, or they can get it from capital markets. And so bondholders, shareholders, and the government is just another form of bondholder, really, because it's just a piggy bank for bondholders. They're able to influence those capital flows, and therefore governments need access to such capital. And they have all sorts of subordination structures, whether it be lobbying, whether it be deep state black op operations for blackmail, or whether it be just straight up access to capital markets. But one of the other complexes that is incredibly important is the technological industrial complex. And so that is, the 50% of the S&P is, like the Magnificent Seven companies now almost. And that includes access from data centers, algorithm, the ability to engineer via neo media, and perform operations by controlling algorithms. Again, the technical industrial complex is a series of companies. They normally, they are subordinate to finance because they need access to capital. So if you're trying to simplify it down, I call it a financial industrial complex, and governments serve their agendas, and governments are subordinate to their control grids and structures.
Did y'all catch? Did y'all hear that? So the beast is not one person. It's not one single person. I think that is something that has been, misinterpreted. The beast is an organization, it's a company, it's a group of individuals who have a specific goal. And the way that he explained it is that there is companies who have fiduciary duty to provide income to their shareholders. Like they owe people money. The fiat system, through the fiat system, that is not, it's not about trade. It's not about anything else. It's literally just about their paper money, their monopoly money, right? But legally, they are obligated to bring profit to their shareholders. And he said that the government is under this financial regime, right? It's all about their monopoly money. And when we say they, we're talking about those companies, those people, those groups who have agendas that are counterproductive to the well-being of humanity. They don't freaking care about us. They don't care about your children. They care about making sure that you are spending money. You're paying them. They want to make sure that your children are dumb and workers, and that they stay in the same loop that they have created in order to garner as much monopoly money, as much energy as possible. And they do this from every single angle. I mean, the 5 senses that we know about, and the other 6, 7 senses that we don't know about, right? Because they have more information about us than we have about ourselves. They know more about this realm and how it operates than we do. And that is by design. So, we live in some interesting times. And I believe that we have to find a fine balance between playing the game to our advantage and not playing the game at all. Like, there has to be instances where we participate, and there has to be instances where we don't participate. Yeah, and those are, I agree, Angela. Hey, but welcome to the chat, girl. There are instances. Oh, I see. Stacy says it can be tracked from the parking lot. Oh my gosh, it's so freaking ridiculous. So you really do have to leave it at home. Oh my gosh. Walmart is part of the conglomerate, you know, those families. And, you know, I feel like those families that are operating like this, they have family crests, they have their family history. They, you know, they understand tribe and they understand legacy, you know. But that kind of gets into the thought of the fact that like I think legacy is really a masculine kind of patriarchal thing. You know, it's a man that wants to know, like, this is my son and I'm passing down this to him. Like, right, it's my son, it's not anybody else's son, and I need to have multiple sons to carry on my legacy, right? I don't think in a tribal matriarchal society that anyone would be worried about or care about whose son is whose daughter is whose. It's more of like a village type deal, right? You know, everyone is responsible for the kids, and it's not, you know, we're not trying to keep any one family alive, we're trying to keep the tribe alive, keep the tribe going. And we do what is best for the tribe. And everyone is responsible for the raising, the rearing, the protecting of anyone in the tribe, right? That's probably a very controversial thing, but Shelly says they have us pushing our kids out at 18 to create more mortgages, or rental income. Yep. Angela says if they don't want to play, they will find a way to pull you back into the game. You're not wrong, Angela. There's definitely something there. Jana, I know you're busy. I'm so glad you were able to make an appearance. She says the technocracy and or the eighth sphere are being unveiled, and simultaneously the data track and trace system is up and running. You are on point regarding having to pick and choose the level of involvement. Thank you, girl. Yeah. And the whole data tracking, right? Big brother. Oh my gosh, that's so ridiculous. Liz, they used to operate in the shadows, but that is changing. What that means, I don't know with the awakening. No, for sure. I think that they know that their time is up, or that they have little time left, or like that times are changing, that the veil is gone. You know, we used to say, or I used to hear the term that the veil was burning, but I think the veil is completely gone. And that's why they spray so much. That's why they, sprayed around the blue moon, which only happens, once every 2 or 3 years. They didn't want no one to be like looking at the blue moon. They want to keep us from feeling the solar flares and, getting the codes from the luminaries. But the thing is they can't stop the inevitable. They can't stop the awakening. Like, there's too many of us. They can't control us all. They've tried really hard, and they will, succeed with a small percentage of people, but they can't succeed forever, and they won't succeed forever. And there are so many people that are waking up now. That is, they can't and they won't keep us all in line, Oh my gosh, yes, Eric, they don't care about us, and they killed him, right? For real. Fear not, abide in Father, and love one another. Yep, I completely agree. It's all about turning to love, and what are you doing to make the world a better place in your reality, right? Like, don't worry about what they're doing or what they're not doing. What are you doing? How are you, connecting with the creator? It's all about going within. Shelley says, do you think they ever expected us to see? I think they thought it was a possibility. I think they've got technologies, they've got, plans inside of plans inside of plans. So they probably thought it was a possibility, but that they were doing everything within their power to keep that from happening. I think that, I agree with what Awakened Mind says. He says that, the first lockdown was really telling, and they did not get as many people to submit to the jab as they wanted. And so, because of that, that showed them really where the population of consciousness, the conscious population, where it stands. And I also think that that's why they tried to infiltrate flat earth as much as possible, and why they try so hard to keep us looking like idiots, because that is one of the biggest lies. Not the biggest lie, one of the biggest lies, because I think that there is a huge lie in every area of life. But that is such a big lie, that it completely, like, any of us who don't believe in NASA don't believe in the government, period, right? They can't have that. They can't have people not believing in the government, period, because if people understand how much they lie, and that billions of taxpayer dollars are going to continuously lie, and it's like they've conditioned us to believe, or they've conditioned us to be okay with the lying in politics, right? Like 100 years ago, 150 years ago, if a politician lied, in his campaign, he would be, booed off the stage. He would not be allowed to run, right? People wouldn't trust him anymore. Well, we're to the point now where we expect people to lie. I got a phone call coming in. Now we expect people to lie. We know that people get paid off so often that it's just like we're used to it, right? We're numb to so many things, just like we're numb to violence in movies and TV shows, and we're numb to child grooming, and we don't even see half the stuff that they do to us. But crap, that distracted me and broke my chain of thought. Angela says, I think they're spraying to block out the sun, to change the weather, spraying to poison us in the land. Melissa says, you know what, though? The moon and the sun are so powerful, their energy will reach no matter what. All that counts is that you are an individual, are intentionally connecting with these and all the luminaries. We are all right after all. Yes, I completely agree. They can only, they can't stop us from feeling things. They can do their best to try to mitigate it, but they can't stop it completely. Jana says, we have all felt shifted versions of this reality realm. I can recall specific times when I was fully aware of shifting. That's right. Shelly, yes, exactly. Normalized. Lying is normalized, not we're just so used to it, and it's not okay. It's not okay. And I don't think that I used to, when I first woke up, when I first realized this stuff, you go through the stages of grief, you go through the stages of, wanting to tell people, wanting to stand on your soapbox. But it's really like each individual person has to go through their own awakening period, and you have to figure out how you're going to conduct yourself. There was an aunt that I was, talking to a lot when I first woke up to this stuff, and she really couldn't understand. She was like, when I was talking about Pizzagate, she was like, what does it change for you that these politicians are doing this? What does it change for you? What are you going to do about it? It doesn't change your life. Like, I don't need to know about this stuff, right? How is that going to change anything? I was trying to share with her like the things that I was believing and waking up to when it came to the Bible and religion, and just asking questions. And she like gave me set up a meeting with her pastor because she just couldn't handle, the stuff that I was questioning, so she brought in someone else. And that's the thing too that I think I find very sad, is that we don't trust our own intuition, right? We have to go to the experts, the pastors, the doctors, the lawyers. We don't have or use our autonomy very much when it comes to figuring stuff out on our own. We have to go to the experts, and we have our intuition has been taken away. Our critical thinking has been taken away, and we expect other people to tell us what's going on with us, what we should believe, what we understand, but and it's not, I don't think, and I'm not trying to say that there's anything wrong with going to a mentor or a teacher or learning from someone. I'm not saying that it's bad to get an opinion or a second opinion, but to take that person's word, whatever that person or expert is, whatever discipline they're a part of, taking their word as gospel, as law, and not using your own intuition, not using your own critical thinking to come to a conclusion that would be best suited for you. Like, that is the part that has been really conditioned away from us. I completely agree, Liz. People can no longer discern fiction from reality. Jonna says, conditioned to be all right with a hostile takeover of everything. And Smith Mundit, moderation is a big piece of how the proverbial narrative can be manipulated instantly. Smith Mundit, moderation. What is that? That sounds interesting. Shelly shakes her head daily, of course. Shelly says, I have had my own friends say to me that I sure don't think normal, that I put weird things out there. I say, and you don't think of these things, and I'm the weird one, right? People don't know, like, they don't want to be set apart. They don't want to be ostracized. They don't want to be different. It's so sad. Justin says, I like to call them the disinformation class, the so-called experts, right? Oh, John is talking about Smith Mundit and the Mandela effect are interwoven with each other. Okay. Mandela effect is super, it's pronounced Munt. Okay, Munt. Smith Munt and Mandela effect are interwoven with each other. You'll have to give me more context as to what that is. Oof, that's a bee. That was a bee or a fly. My matcha is cold now. I think that the reality is so multi-layered that it is almost impossible to unravel it all. I don't want to say that anything is impossible, because I don't know the full nature of this realm, and I would never pretend like I do. But I do know that, what feels true for me, the more that I learn, the more that I search and seek, the more that I ask, the Most High to reveal himself to me. I think that, again, consciousness, attention, intention, focus, the Matrix wasn't just a movie. It was a documentary about, our energy and everything. And this can be fun. Like, when you get sucked into things, you can get so depressed, and you can, go through all of the stages of grief. but talking about how multi-layered it is, everyone doesn't see everything. Like everyone doesn't see Mandela effects. Everyone doesn't see how conditioned and how normalized we have been to accept lies from people we trust. And there are people who literally do not want to know. Like one of my sisters literally does not want to know anything that I have to tell her. She does not want to. She's not interested in politics. She's not interested in health. She just wants to live her life. She's not interested. She wants to be blissfully unaware. But then she'll talk about how somebody has an interesting view on Obama or something and doesn't like Obama, and I'm like, but you can't even talk about the subject. Like, you don't even know why they don't like him. You just you're still so in the shallow part of everything. So goodness, so the Smith-Mundt Act is where the media is not allowed to lie to us. At one time they were not. It made propaganda illegal, but Obama repelled it. Hopefully more people come in. Oh, thanks, Angela. You said that you shared it out. I appreciate it. Yeah. Stupid Obama. Okay, Jana says Smith-Mundt moderation was done during the Obama administration. Okay. The SMM allowed politicians, the media, higher education to lie with impunity. Your local news is a good example of the singular SM. Or they're in denial. Maybe a time is coming when they can no longer be unaware. Down to the weather forecast, the law enforcement has been made to lie with impunity. I'm so done. Patty G, hey, much love, girl. Thanks for popping in. Love to see new faces. We're literally just talking about the fact that our politicians can lie to us now with impunity. They can, whatever it is that they can get away with, because they have shareholders who need to make money, right? Whatever it is that they need to do to make sure that, we keep our heads in the sand. We keep spending dollars. We keep working a 9-to-5 jobs, keep sending our kids to their indoctrination camps, right? Oh gosh, there's a little spider on my computer and I don't want him there. Oh, okay. It's okay. We're out in nature. But yeah, they want us to keep sending our kids to indoctrination camps. They want us to keep putting ourselves on birth control. They want us to, stay inside. They want us to wear masks when we go outside. They want us to do whatever it is to keep us from connecting with the Most High Creator, to keep us from understanding our own sovereignty and divinity, keep us from connecting with each other, because, when 2 or more are gathered together, big things happen. Not 2 or 3, not 1 or 2. When 2 or more are gathered together, right? That's why mass meditations actually make a change. Joe Dispenza has proven that time and time again. That literally, meditation has been proven to be, it heals people. We can heal ourselves, all that kind of stuff has been proven, but we're not allowed to say, right? Because then how would the conglomerates make money? How would they make their shareholders money, right? They wouldn't be able to. So if we knew that we could heal ourselves, then and the doctors are doing the best that they can, and we can't fault the doctors, because they have been taught how to prescribe medicines. They made an oath to pharmakia, to uphold something they don't even really understand, but they haven't actually been taught how to heal the human body. They have been taught how to prescribe medications. They know nothing about nutrition. I've watched podcasts where doctors say they got maybe 30 minutes on nutrition. They got, maybe 30 minutes on how to eat well. There's no special classes for women because, women are too complicated. And so we can't fault them for not being taught these things. They're just doing what it is that they learned. And the hospitals have to also make money, and they have procedures, and you will lose your job if you don't follow procedure, if you don't if you don't vaccinate a baby behind the mother's back. I mean, have you guys heard the story about the mother who was taken to court while she was in labor because she was refusing to have a C-section? And they put her on Zoom with a judge and like lawyers and stuff to like try to force her to have a C-section. It didn't work because, they couldn't say that it was an emergency situation, right? She stood her ground, but do you know how hard it is to stand your ground in the middle of labor? To stay conscious enough when when you're in pain to the nth degree. Who knows what they've pumped in you to try to, keep, give you pain relief. But I mean, to stay cognizant in that moment, like I cannot imagine. That is violations to the nth degree, right? Do you know how much money the hospital makes off the placenta? $50,000. They make $50,000 off a single placenta. Listen, I'm done. Okay, so Liz says maybe we need to do better and stop lying to one another, be more authentic within, so without. Oh my gosh, Liz, you're so right. Angela says that's why I have my outdoor bath medicine and self-love that calms my soul. Patty says exactly, they don't want us to heal ourselves. The doctors, they have all been brainwashed. Angela, nothing like being in warm water. Jonna says, despite all my rage, I still just a rat in a cage. Old school propaganda tune lyric, and many doctors knew better from past experiences. Man, I know it really sucks. It really can be super freaking frustrating when you know all of this stuff and still you participate, because I mean, what else you can't not participate a lot of times. I can't not go shop at Trader Joe's, even though that I know that Trader Joe is not, all organic. Whole Foods is not all organic, right? Going to restaurants, even though I know they have seed oils and stuff like that. Like, I still pay my bills, right? Like, we are still living in this world, and not being mad at myself for living in this world, but also, taking the necessary steps to not be part of that race as much as possible. But it is so freaking hard. 93,000 for a CV body, for a cadaver, or something else. 93,000. Are you kidding me? The hospital is making money off of this stuff. Okay, so we got 2 more minutes before 12:12, where we get to dance away all of this stuff. Dance away the fact that we get to celebrate the fact that we're aware of this stuff, and we're talking about it, we're discussing it. And despite the fact that they're doing everything that they can to keep us from knowing our divinity and our sovereignty, we are still growing, we are still thriving, and we are still connecting with the Most High. They cannot keep us from connecting from the Most High. Patty, our food is poisoned. Seriously, our food is poisoned. Not just the food, the soil is more poison now, and the food that does grow is less nutrient than it used to be. And right, Angela, we just have to do the best we can in this toxic place, you know. Shelly says, I have my PA walk on me when I refuse all the girls examine. Oh, she refused to come back in and had the nurse come back in and didn't even say bye or something. I haven't been back. Oh my gosh. Yes, growing your own food is pretty much the only way to be in charge and have full autonomy over your own stuff. Okay, so one more dance party, you guys. And then we will wrap up for the day.
It's a dance party. It's Arielle's dance party. Dance, 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 dance. It's a dance party. It's Arielle's dance party. It's a dance party. It's Arielle's dance party. Dance, 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 dance. It's Arielle's dance party. Dance, 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 dance. It's a dance party. It's Arielle's dance party.
Yay! Dance party! Yay, yay, yay! All right, Liz was talking about the Rain 2. Much love and healing. Enjoy the greatest apocalypse ever all. Bye, Jonna. I hope you're doing well. Shelly makes her own compost. That's awesome. And Angie said, don't leave us. Pretty dress week. Thank you. Yay, Patty, love the dance. Yay. Thanks, guys. Carl's in the house. Much love, Carl. Yeah, earlier I did a different song. I danced with my machete to some awesome, well, it said Highland, Scottish Highland, but it made me feel so powerful. And then I played some really awesome Indian bagpipe type stuff, which I was just like, I have to play this. So, okay, I'm going to do something I haven't done on this channel before. I am going to pull a card. So, you know, whatever you feel about oracle decks, which is different than tarot decks, but they are still, you know, taboo in a lot of places. This deck is the Sacred Hag's Oracle. And, you know, I'm just going to give us something that whatever reading we need, whatever encouragement we need. I'll read from the book here. But yeah, like I feel sometimes I get exactly what I need. And just like there are evil entities, there are also good entities. And if my intuition, if my spirit is linked to the Most High, then the energy that I get is going to come from the Most High, you know? Okay, so we got number 6. Can you see this? This is the Hag of Hawthorns. Oh, that's very cool. She's got some feathers there. Let's read and see what it says for us today. All right, so the Hag of Hawthorns is the heart of healing. The grandmother speaks. Heal well, child. Oh, can you guys hear? I haven't even had my mic on. Have y'all been able to hear me this whole time? That's funny. Yes, Liz, you should take The Music Was For You for sure. Because I was definitely thinking of you when I found it. Oh, Liz, is it the 6th for you? Today's the 5th for me. But that is, oh, okay. She retracted the message. I was gonna say. Okay, okay, so we have the 6th, the heart of healing, which we've been talking about healing ourselves, and we've been sending healing love to Stacy. And yeah, so this is kind of crazy. So the grandmother says, heal well, child. The hearts of wild ones have longer memories than our minds, and they beat in rhythm with the drums of those who came before. The heart recalls the battle hymns of the ancestral lands sung in the mother tongue language you speak only in your dreams. And, my darling child, that red and thumping heart of yours is marked by the scars of your foremothers. Heal not only your heart wounds, but those of your long gone ancestors. Look to the wounds of the worlds your blood hails from, to the places that still bleed through the blades that first left their mark, have been struck in the ground for generations. Healing the heart requires a diligence we often struggle to muster, yet it is our most potent work. Your heart yearns to pulse in rhythm with the collective, to keep up a radical but nourishing cadence with those wildlings who are the greatest medicine for the ills of these times. Healing your own heart is the greatest work you can do for our wounded world. And your message now is this: know your heart wounds as doorways, as holy portals through which the light shines, through which the daughters of the future shall walk bearing as yet undreamed visions of communal harmony and sisterhood, moving together in rhythm with the resounding beat of the one collective wild heart. Y'all, how synchronistic is it that I was talking about healing generations and healing our hearts, and starting with yourself, and that this is what we're talking about, heart healing. Isn't this crazy? Oh my gosh. Maybe some hawthorn tea or tincture is in order too. Very heart healing. I love it. I'm sure someone online saw it was the 6th. That was awesome, right? I thought so too. It was so crazy. So you guys, I'll show you again. It's pretty cool. I love her little hat. She's got some feathers. There's some thorns for the hawthorn, and the number 6, which 6 is the number of man. I don't want to talk more about stuff that I don't know, or I'm still learning. But so today I want you guys to remember this week that you are the only one who can heal your heart. And when you heal your heart, you heal your generational heart. I love that she says, that healing your own heart is the greatest work you can do for our wounded world, and that you should know that your heart wounds, that the wounds that your heart has, is a doorway. They are holy portals through which the light can shine, through which the daughters of the future shall walk bearing as yet dreamed versions of communal harmony and sisterhood, moving together in rhythm with the resounding beat of the one collective wild heart. There are dreams that are still yet to be dreamed, what you have been through, what your mother has been through, what we have all been through is not for naught, is not for nothing. It is all an experience that makes us stronger. It makes us more resilient. It makes us wiser. So, there is nothing that we should regret. Everything is a learning experience, and mistakes and failures are not evil. They are not bad. They are what keep us growing and learning and showing us the right way. I mean, if you don't try, then you never learn. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. But if at least you take 100 shots and you miss 99 of them, then by the 100th time, you would have got the trajectory right. You have to miss 99 of them so that you can learn what it's like to, so you know what you're doing wrong and you can actually learn what to do correctly. Right? Don't be afraid of mistakes. Don't be afraid of failure. Don't be afraid to try, to hypothesize, to experiment. You are your greatest experiment, right? And when you heal yourself, when you love your wounds, when you love your heart, that is healing. That is not just healing you, that is healing the generations that came before you and the generations that are going to come after. This is such an amazing reading. Did you guys like that? Yes, Shelly, you can only change you. Hey, good for you, Justin. Justin is 1.5 years sober. That is freaking amazing. Congrats. Sue, yay. I'm glad you're still here, girl. I hope you're doing well. I don't know if you're working today or not. I'm gonna have to do some dashing myself. But I've got packing to do and stuff. And I've gotta go pee. I drank all my matcha and I drank a lot of water. So I'm gonna wrap it up here. I'm gonna play a song. I'm gonna play one of those other songs that was pretty cool. Let's do this one. She's gonna start singing though, but that's okay. Liz, I'm dedicating this one to you again. Hold on. Yes, here we go. This girl, I love this girl. Hold on. Everything's crazy for me now again. I'm frozen on my end. I hate that I'm frozen on my end, but I hope you guys can still see everything. All right. Anyway, you guys, I don't know if you can see me or hear me or anything, but just know how important you are, know how special you are. Make sure that you take time to dance, make sure you take time to laugh, make sure that you take time to enjoy the fact that you are alive, you are vibrant, you matter. And every time that you create something, you're doing exactly what it is that you are meant to do. I love you guys so much. I look forward to talking with you again next week. I'll be able to be here a little bit longer next week. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Make sure to drop me a comment or like this video, or subscribe if you haven't. This lets YouTube know that people find value in this show. And all right, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and sign off now. See you guys next time. If I can.